Okay, Clarence.
Clarence Hill, Los City, Dallas. Coach, you talked before the game about taking it all in. Certainly we saw you when you came into the locker room hugging all your assistant coaches. What's going through your mind right now about your future, your situation?
Well, really, it was going through my mind. It's the end of the year. I mean, this was our last game. So that's really what I was focused on. Just make sure I had an opportunity to see everybody when they came in the locker room.
Did Jerry say anything about the plan going forward at all?
No. We have meetings tomorrow in the morning with the players, but we'll get together here in the near future.
Tim Kalish, Dallas Morning News. Do you feel like your body of work after 5 years suggests you should be back for another year?
Oh, I've a lot of confidence in myself as a head coach, but I think like anything, body of work, the statistics. I think it's more about the program, the details of what needs to be done, how can we get better. All those things go into these decisions of whether you originally get the job or continue to move forward. So I'm definitely in a position with Jerry to move the program forward. I mean, there's no question about that in my mind. So that's why these conversations need to happen here in the near future.
Do you feel good about the way the team played the last half of the year, including like today when you're going to win with 2 seconds to go?
Yeah, I don't want to take anything for granted because I understand why you're asking the question, but I mean that's the way we're supposed to play. As far as the energy and the commitment. So and that's what the players expect from the coaches, and that's what every coaches expect from the players. So for us to go out there and compete and finish our commitment, that's to me was a given. I felt in some ways that game was a little bit of a microcosm of our season. Just it goes all the way down to the last play. So, a lot of good things happen in the game, for young players, but the little things that we didn't do, was part of the reason why we didn't win the game. So, but I was happy with the fact that some of the guys were able to play that really didn't have much of an opportunity. So, but I was pleased with the way the team competed today.
Mac Engel, Fort Worth Star-Telegram. Now that the season's over, this answer may be different. Is your first preference, Mike, to remain as the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys?
I mean, absolutely. I mean, I have a lot invested here. And the Cowboys have a lot invested in me. And then there's a personal side to all these decisions. So, they all point in the right direction. But, I think anytime you invest your time, energy, your belief, the connection you have, the relationships that are in place here, the understanding of what the organization can do and is willing to do, that those are all positive attributes that, you take into account. But, absolutely, I'm a builder. I believe in building programs. I believe in developing young players. So at the end of the day, it is about winning. And you have to have those components in place to get this thing where it needs to be, and I think we have a very good foundation there.
Elwin Henderson, Gilmer. Mike, your thoughts on Trey Lance? He had a great game today.
Yeah, I thought Trey played well today. I think just like anything is, you try to give them some opportunities. They did a good job right away. I think Clarence leaked it that he was playing because they really came after our edges. But no, they were really, outfield, so we stayed away from some things that we were hoping to get, but then got to them in the second half. So, but I like this patience, but I think anytime, you go from one quarterback to another, you saw it in, when Cooper played his first game against Philadelphia here, the cadence was, we had some false, some pre-snap penalties that, we just weren't clean. And it's a shame because, we put together a lot of long drives, and as we know, we kicked field goals and they scored touchdowns when they were down there, and that's was really what it came down to. But I thought he did a lot of really good things. I think it clearly showed, the progress he's made since the last preseason game. So I was very proud of Trey today.
Coach, Sydney Staples, D210 Sports. You mentioned that you're a builder, but is there anything else you feel that you specifically bring of value to the Cowboys organization if you were to come back here after your contract expires?
I understand why you ask the questions. I don't like to talk about myself that way, but I'll just be clear. I'm a winner. I know how to win. I've won a championship. I won a championship in this building, and and that's who I am. So, and we'll see where it goes.
Mike, you ever been in a situation where you have to prove yourself, convince yourself? I mean, kind of convince somebody that you're still the right man for the job?
Oh, I think you do that every day, don't you? I mean, that's, I think it's life. I mean, this profession, I've been blessed to be in this league for 3 decades. It's changed, but at the end of the day, it's about winning. That part's never changed. I think when you stop feeling that you have to prove yourself, then someone's gonna run your ass over. So yeah, I think you have to prove yourself all the time.
I know a couple weeks ago you talked about, you have a certain place in this game. You just talk about your assistants and the uncertainty around them. Do you talk to them about how do they manage the next week or so?
Yeah, I need to give them more direction here in the near future. So, but this is, it's the last game's over. So, it's, hopefully I'll be able to give them some direction here in the near future. That's really all I can say.
Josh.
Mike, Josh Tolentino, Lone Star Live. Dak, Micah, and CD over the past couple of weeks have said that they want you back. Now that the season's over, what do those endorsements mean to you?
I mean, obviously, all those guys, they mean the world to our team, mean the world to me. But this is, and it's not cliche. This is a very healthy locker room. I mean, the personalities, the type of people that we have in this locker room, and Jerry and I were talking, before the game, and he asked me how the team, practiced yesterday, and I just said, hey, if the GPS number is an indication how we're going to play, we're going to really kick butt today because that was the second highest of the year. So I just think it just tells you about the individuals. And GPS numbers don't win football games. Don't get me wrong, but I just think that they put the work in. It's not just talk. It's not a cliche culture. There is accountability. And hey, we need to be better, and that's why we're sitting here not in the playoffs. And I recognize that, and that ultimately starts with me. But it's a really good group of men, and I do really appreciate that when they do echo those sentiments. But I just think it's a reflection of what we have going here.
Coach, to be the head coach, do you feel like you have to be the primary play caller?
I don't think that's I think like anything, I think you have to look at the whole picture. I think, I look at what helps us, what gives us the best, chance to win on Sundays. And when I'm old fashioned, I still write up the job descriptions, still write up the job responsibilities for every member of our staff. I think it's important to have clarity in that. When at the end of the day, when you build that organization chart of your coaching staff and give the assignments, but the maintenance and the application of that is really where the gold is. It all comes down to what gives us the best chance to win on Sundays.
Coach, in terms of the fans, what do you want them to know? I know it's been a tough season, but some final words for them.
Well, I feel for our fans. I mean, it's the little things that I'll always remember about the Dallas Cowboy fans. There's nothing like showing up into an opposing city and just to see 1,000 fans at the hotel, or 500. You can't even tell how many there are. There's so many of them. So their passion, their belief, the way they love and cheer for our players, it's incredible. So I just want to say thank you. I appreciate all the energy that they pour into our football team, and I get it, when they're disappointed, but they do. I hope they understand how much we put into it too to represent the star. But this is an incredible fan base.
Well, Mike, certainly 7-10 is not what you anticipated when the season began, but you look at all of the major injuries that you had. Do you look back now and think what could have been if everybody would have been able to stay healthy?
I'm still stuck on 7-10. That just knocked me over. Yeah, that just doesn't sound right. No, what happens regardless of the record. The evaluation process starts tomorrow. So we'll go back through everything and then we just we'll create the potential plan moving forward. So, but yeah, it's not where we expect it to be. Clearly, this is not the press conference I expected to have today.
All righty, thank you, Mike.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.